One of the most exciting of the new integrated technologies in Sonar 5 Producer Edition has to be vVocal. And vVocal comes for us from Roland. It's based on the Veriphrase technology, which was only previously available in the VP9000 hardware, but is now integrated seamlessly into Sonar 5's environment. Now, to incorporate vVocal, or to start using vVocal, all we have to do is select the pieces of audio that we want to apply vVocal to. Simply right-click, we have a vVocal submenu, and say Create vVocal. All right, now we're looking at the vVocal interface, and this is a separate window which can be docked into the tab view or floated on top of the other windows. But you'll notice that it's seamlessly integrated into the rest of Sonar's interface, in that if I solo, it also solos the appropriate track. I have transport controls, loop controls, and also undo-redo available for each process. Let's go ahead and just listen to this. I'm going to blow it up to the full screen so we can see a little more in more detail what we're doing. And we'll just use the zoom tool to go ahead and zoom in on this particular section. Now the yellow line is showing the actual pitch of the audio. The white line is showing the bass of the pitch. So we'll go ahead and just listen to this a little bit as is. Falling down around my aching feet. So we'll see that here on this down, we've got a little bit of modulation happening. Now I can simply take my pencil and literally draw it out, and we'll actually get a little smoother. So that was just done freehand with a pencil. I'm going to go ahead and undo that and actually use the modulation tool to actually increase or decrease the modulation. We'll actually decrease it. Down around my aching feet. Okay, so let's take feet here and actually change the entire pitch of this entire word. So let's just actually drop it down a little bit, and you'll see that instantaneously aching feet, we've actually made it a flatter note. So again, you can actually freehand draw things, we can grab entire notes and move them. It is also possible to just have vVocal correct everything automatically. Just by selecting the area we want to correct, we can then pick what scale we're in. We happen to be in D minor. Adjust the note sensitivity and just hit correct. And you'll see that the changes have been made. And we'll go ahead and play this back. Falling down around my aching feet. So you can see that even with auto correction, we really don't get any artifacts, and we maintain a smooth, natural sound through the entire process. We can also, of course, do rather dramatic things just by simply freehand drawing in pitch changes. Again, full undo history, and I can, of course, just by unsoloing, I can listen to how it sounds in context with the rest of the song. Now, using the erase tool, I can just simply drag over and erase any changes that I've made and revert back to the original sound of the vocal. Now, aside from pitch, I also have independent control over formant. So you'll see that in the formant control section, we have pitch follow and also full pitch shifting, which of course can aid in drastic pitch changes and also in creating harmonies of multiple vocals. Now, one of the other really powerful features of vVocal is the ability to adjust time. I'm going to go back to pitch and just undo some of these changes. So we're back to our original pitch, and we'll go ahead and switch to time, and the interface changes, showing us the waveform and the timeline. Now here we have complete control over any type of stretching of the individual vocal or whatever the audio material may be. So for instance, if I want to stretch out this section right here, and we'll go ahead and, again, we're soloed, and we'll just play this. Okay, so I want this down to stretch out just a little bit. So all I have to do is actually click right where I want to stretch and just simply drag. And now let's listen to how that sounds. Okay, so really no artifacts or anything, and it's stretched out very, very seamlessly. Let's go ahead and just drop in a few other things, and we'll just make this a little bit shorter, and you can see I can drop in a point, an anchor point, to adjust timing anywhere I want. Let's make the beginning a little bit faster, and we'll play from there. Falling down around my aching feet. So very, very easy to do subtle timing changes and even rather drastic timing changes. And you can see how this would be very, very useful for things like double-tracked vocals where the sibilants or consonants aren't hitting exactly on. It's very easy to move those. For instance, we could take the T sound at the end here and just adjust it a little bit. So we'll play right from there. Feet. So we can actually just move that very, very naturally. Let's move on to another feature of vVocal, and that is dynamics. Dynamics allow me to literally redraw in the volume of any particular track right in the vVocal interface. So this keeps me from having to work on my vocals and then go back to my track view to do some envelope changes. It lets me stay right here and fix everything I want about the audio material right within this interface. So we can actually just take our pencil, and this will let us just freehand draw in any kind of dynamics changes. You'll see that the beginning of this, the F on Fallen, is a little bit loud, which may make this track not be able to be turned up as loud as we want. So we can go ahead and just simply draw it out, and you'll see that it's now quite a bit softer. We'll just play that. Falling down. And even while it's playing, we can literally draw in changes that you hear. Around my aching feet. And you hear them immediately with no clicks or pops or anything. So you can just freely manipulate the audio material, make changes, you get instant visual feedback, and you can do it in real time. And just to further point out how well vVocal is integrated into Sonar 5, I already mentioned, of course, that there are transport and loop controls, mutes and solos, and undos. There's also a bypass control that will let me hear the original vocal instantaneously when I hit the bypass button. And furthermore, each vVocal clip actually has a bypass switch on it and the ability to bypass all vVocal clips. So if you have multiple tracks and you're creating harmonies or doing pitch correction on multiple tracks at once, you can bypass all of those vVocal clips with the click of a button so that you can hear the original and A/B that with the pitch corrected or time corrected vocals. It's also possible to have multiple vVocal clips open at once. So for instance, if I just create a new vVocal clip out of this second piece here, we see this one, and we can just double click to bring up our previous interface, and I can have multiple vVocals open at one time, which allow me to easily create harmonies or work with double or triple tracked vocals. Now vVocal is not just limited to vocals, it can be used on any sorts of audio material. In this scenario, I've actually taken a frozen bass track. Since in Sonar 5 a frozen track gives you actual audio to manipulate, I can make a vVocal out of a frozen virtual instrument track. So here's an entire bass track created and encoded as a vVocal, and you can see I'll go ahead and blow it up, and we're just going to solo it out and just play it for a second. You'll hear that it is indeed a bass track. And you'll notice that while these notes are sustaining, I can actually re-pitch them in real time with no clicking or popping or any kind of artifacts. So not only would this be useful for fixing problems, but also from a creative standpoint. You might want to add a new part to a song and the bass player is no longer there. You could actually create a new bass part using vVocal, which wouldn't be possible with any other technology.